#1 show that dominates cable news, The O'Reilly Factor.
Thanks for staying with us. And Bill O'Reilly in a personal story segment tonight. Activist Dolores Huerta often speaks around the country on behalf of poor migrants. On April 3rd, she said this to a group of high school students in Tucson, Arizona.
I'm going to be suggesting to do a postcard campaign, and that we send it to the Senate Republican National Committee in Washington, D.C., because they are responsible to get as many Republicans elected to office as possible. And we have to let them know, and this will be, of course, from the Latino community specifically, and all of those that think this is really unjust what they're doing. And our theme will be, Republicans hate Latinos, okay? Republicans hate Latinos.
Joining us now from Bakersfield, California is Dolores Huerta. Do you really believe all Republicans hate Latinos?
Well, this is a free speech issue. I know that Senator Jonathan Payton spoke at Mountain View High School when he was running and campaigning for office. Jonathan Payton is a Republican. And he also spoke, I believe that after he was on your show at one of the colleges, and he was also speaking about the immigration issue. So I believe that this is a free speech issue. When I was speaking to students, I was telling them what was going on with the immigration debate, telling them about some of the Republicans that have really done things against the Latino community. People like Governor Pete Wilson, who got rid of affirmative action. Congressman Sensenbrenner, who was the author of H.R. 4437, which really has promoted all of these demonstrations and marches for immigrants' rights all over the country.
But then you have McCain and you have other Republicans who have been friends to migrants, I believe. So, but my question is, I understand it's a free speech issue. You're welcome to say anything you want to say in this country. I don't care what you say, it doesn't matter to me. But you don't really believe that all Republicans hate Latinos, do you?
Well, I actually, in that speech, if you were to hear the rest of that speech, I did make an exception for Senator McCain because, of course...
But look, half the country's Republican, all right? So you think half the country, because they want strict border enforcement and they want the immigration laws enforced, hate Latinos? Come on.
Oh, well, it's not a question of border enforcement whatsoever. I am talking about other legislation that has been passed that really hurts the Latino community.
Right, in the House, when Sensenbrenner's bill was voted upon, scores of Democrats voted for that bill. Do they hate Latinos too?
Well, there were a majority of Republicans, I believe, that voted for the bill. There were many more Republicans than Democrats.
Scores voted for it. Do they hate Latinos too?
Well, I don't really know because I really haven't spoken to them. I just can talk to you. And what I was trying to say to the students is giving them the issue so that they can understand what the democratic process is, how legislation works in the U.S. Congress, and how they, as students, can affect, even though they're students and they can't vote.
Okay, and all that's well and good.
They spend money, and every legislator works for them.
All right, all that's well and good, and students should be engaged, I believe, at this level. But don't you think you did the students a disservice by saying that all Republicans hate Latinos, because that's flat out not true, madam. You know it's not true, I know it's not true, and everyone watching it knows it's not true. So didn't you do them a disservice by saying that?
Well, I'm not sure that I did. As I say, and I'm sure that they will have. I did think they did have a Republican person that spoke after me.
Yeah, but they like you. They identify with you. You are a heroine in their community because of a lot of.
Thank you for that.
Well, it's true. I mean, you have done many good things in your long career for poor people in this country, and I would be a fool not to acknowledge that. But I think that you misstated here, and you might want to think about that in the future. What does the phrase "we didn't cross the border crossed us"? What does that mean?
Well, the indigenous peoples of this continent, all the way from Peru to Canada, there were trade routes where people always went all across. And, before the indigenous peoples, they went from what is now the United States all the way to Mexico, all the way into Central America and South America. And so you had indigenous peoples that always went back and forth. I mean, you have the state of Michoacan, which is very much
but that was in the 16th century. That's not in the modern world. And I mean, I don't know what that means in the modern world. We didn't cross the border crossed us. Surely.
Because the indigenous people are the ones that are on this continent. I mean, they are the people, the indigenous people here, and of course many of the people from Mexico,
All right,
Central
so
America,
by
and
that
South
way of
America
thinking
are the
that all
indigenous peoples.
Do you believe that all countries from Argentina to Canada should have open borders? Anybody go wherever they want, whenever they want? Do you believe that?
What I'm saying is that the indigenous people have always been on this continent.
Okay,
right?
I got it. Do you believe everybody
thank you.
should have free movement from Argentina to Canada? Yes or no?
Well, you know, you have money that crosses across continents. We have goods that cross across continents, and it's okay, you know, for money to go across the global village, and it's okay.
Well, all right, I'm going to take that as a yes.
But what about workers? What about workers?
Look,
you know, so
if that's your opinion, that's your opinion, madam. If you believe there's an open border,
a whole new look at this whole issue and stop trying to blame victims. The people that are here work here.
Not blaming anybody.
They work very, very hard. They contribute with their work.
Ms. Huerta, I'm not blaming. I'm trying to get
taxes. Okay, so you know this immigrant bashing has got to stop.
Okay, fine. Nobody's bashing any immigrants on this program.
These are workers, and they need to be respected.
All right, nobody's bashing any immigrants here. We're trying to get inside your thought process. And from what you've just said to me, you believe in open borders. Anybody comes and goes as they please. You don't believe the United States has a sovereign right to regulate who comes here and who doesn't. That's what you're saying.
You're saying that. I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
Those are your words. Those are not my words, okay? Those are your words, not my words.
You got a minute left. Why don't you clarify? Do you believe in open borders, madam?
What I believe is that, number one, we have freedom of speech, which I have used at the Tucson High School. Number two, that we need an immigration bill that is just, that will give a legalization status to the people who have earned it, because they have earned it by their work, by their sweat, by their contributions to the society.
You're dodging my question, you know. You know you're dodging me. You're dodging my question.
No, I'm
open borders or no? Open borders or no?
I am giving you my opinion. That's my opinion.
All right, but you wouldn't answer the open borders.
But that's my opinion.
Listen, I don't care what your opinion is. You're an American, and you're.
Why did you invite me to come on your show?
Well,
okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it to say that way. It doesn't. It doesn't matter to me what you think.
We may have a difference of opinion on these issues.
I don't have a difference because you won't answer the question. You won't answer the question. Open border or not?
You may not like my answer, but I answered the question.
All right, Ms. Huerta. Nice to have you on the program. Thank you for taking the time.
You're welcome.
In a moment, Rush Limbaugh accuses the Associated Press of distorting his drug settlement. Right back with that.